Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to dive into the pretty radical teachings of Jiddu Krishnamurti. We're going to use his own method, his own line of questioning, to really explore the nature of our own minds and the world that we all create together. All right, let's just jump right in with what is probably Krishnamurti's most famous, and let's be honest, most challenging statement. Truth is a pathless land. What does that even mean? Well, he's basically saying that no organization, no belief system, no guru, no method can lead you to it. You have to discover it for yourself. And that single idea? That's our launching point for this whole investigation. So to really get a handle on his kind of radical solution, we've got to first look at the problem he's pointing to. What is the source of all the chaos in the world? Okay, so Krishnamurti asks us to look at this stuff not as opinions, but just as facts. Look around. We are divided, right? By nations, by religions, by economic systems. We are constantly preparing for war, all in the name of peace. And think about it. With all our incredible technology, we seem more bent on destroying each other than ever. These are just the facts on the ground. And this is where the whole inquiry takes a really sharp turn. Because instead of looking for some external solution, a new political system or economic model, Krishnamurti flips it all around and points the question right back at us. He asks, where does all this conflict actually come from? And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We live in this state of, constant contradiction. We say we want peace, but our lives are full of conflict. We talk all about love, but we create division everywhere. We want order, but we're totally run by fear. You know the drill. We say one thing, we do another, and we're probably thinking a third thing altogether. So this all leads to his most radical point. The chaos we see out there, the wars, the injustice, all the division, it's not separate from us. It's not some external thing. It is a direct reflection, a projection of the disorder and the conflict that's happening inside each and every one of our own minds. So what does that mean practically? It means if we actually want to change society in a fundamental way, we can't start with society. It's a dead end. We have to start by learning how to read this book of life, the book that is you. Because as he says, the entire story of humanity, all its fears, its joys, its violence, it's all right there inside you. Okay, so if the problem is inside us, what's the actual mechanism that's creating all this mess? Well, for Krishnamurti, the answer is surprisingly simple, and it's what we're going to dig into next. It's thought itself. Let's make this really practical. Think about your closest relationships for a second. Your partner, a good friend, someone in your family. He asks us to look really, really closely and ask, is your relationship with the actual person standing in front of you, or is it with the mental picture, the image you've built up of them over time? You see, that image you've built from all the good times, the bad times, the hurts, the pleasures, that image is what's interacting with the image they have of you. And that right there is why relationships so often turn into battlegrounds. We're not actually connecting with a living person. We're two ghosts from the past bumping into each other. So this really gets to the heart of it. If our minds are constantly running like a factory, building these images that keep us apart, what is that factory? What's the machinery that's churning all this stuff out? That factory? It's thought. And Krishnamurti has a very specific definition for it. It's not some grand, mysterious, creative thing. Nope. He says thought is simply the response of memory. It's a reaction based on our past experiences, our stored up knowledge. And because our past is always incomplete, that means thought, by its very nature, is always limited. And here you can see the chain reaction we're all caught in. You have an experience, it becomes knowledge, that gets stored as memory. Then, memory spits out a thought, and that thought tells you how to act. And boom, you're in a closed loop. We're basically just living out of the past, over and over and over again. You can see this whole mechanism at play perfectly with desire. It's a great example. So you see something beautiful, a car, a person, a sunset. That's just perception. Your senses make contact, you get a sensation, a feeling. So far, so good, right? It's all just natural. But then thought jumps in. It creates an image of you having that thing, of repeating that pleasurable feeling. And in that instant, bam, psychological desire is born. The craving to repeat the experience. Okay, so let's follow the logic here. If thought, which we've just established is always limited, always from the past, if that is the source of all our conflict, well then the solution can't possibly be more thought, can it?
It can't be a new belief or a new system or some fancy new ideology, because all of those things are just more products from the same old factory.
So instead, he proposes something completely different. It's not about doing something. It's about a new quality of mind, a different way of paying attention. He calls it choiceless awareness. And it's really just the art of seeing, simply observing what's actually happening inside you and outside you without judging it, without comparing it, without trying to change it. And just think about what that means. The second we label something, we say that's anger, or that's a tree, or that's a cloud, we've stopped actually seeing it. The word, the label, it comes from our past, from our memory, and it acts like a screen between us and what's really there. So to actually see the cloud, you have to look at it without the word cloud. This art of seeing, this choiceless awareness, that's the key. That is the thing that unlocks what he calls freedom from the known, which is really just a fancy way of saying freedom from the prison of your own past. And we're not talking about political freedom here. This is a total psychological revolution. It means being free from the authority of any book, any guru, any organization. It means being free from all the beliefs you've been conditioned to accept. It's freedom from fear, because fear is just thought projecting something bad into the future. And ultimately, it's freedom from the me, from the self, which when you look at it is just a bundle of old memories and thoughts. So what happens then when the mind isn't tangled up in conflict anymore, when it's actually free from the known, free from its own past? What's left? What does a mind like that even look like? What comes is a state of profound silence. But this is really important. It's not a forced silence. It's not you sitting there gritting your teeth trying to make your thoughts stop. It's a silence that just arrives naturally when you see and understand the whole structure of your own thinking in conflict. When the inner disorder ends, what's left is order. And that order is silence. And this silence, this space, it isn't an empty, dead thing, a void. It's actually full of incredible energy. That, Krishnamurti says, is what true meditation is. It's not a technique, it's the state of being. The end of the me, the self, is the beginning of something totally vast, something measureless. And so, true to form, this whole inquiry doesn't end with an answer from him. It ends with a question for you. He puts the entire responsibility, the entire exploration right back in your lap. The question is, what happens, not just out there, but inside you? What happens when you just look, without a single word, without the interference of a single thought?